This video will probably deliver so much satisfaction to all of the people saying that Battlefield 1 is dead ever since the game was released. Hey guys and welcome! Today we're gonna be taking a look at the 5 Battlefield 1 game modes that are already resting in peace. I mean, like, realistically, does anyone even play Supply Drop in 2018? Or War Pigeons? Does anyone even remember back to basics? Like, whoa, this game mode died faster than Hardline did, which, well, is quite phenomenal, especially if you count in the fact that testing Hardline in beta, alpha, and then waiting for the release was actually longer than the whole game's lifecycle on PC. But Hardline isn't the topic of this video. We were supposed to take a look at top 5 game modes which are already dead, and that's what we're gonna do. Before we get into it though, I just want to say and make it clear that all of the measurements, when it comes to the amount of players and, well, that's practically it, but when it comes to measuring the amount of players active on the servers in those given game modes that we're gonna take a look at, I was checking those in the middle of Saturday, during the weekend. That's quite obvious, Saturday is part of the weekend, at least here in Poland, but it's been measured on PC in Europe, which, well, PC doesn't really have the biggest player base out of other platforms, but still, Europe has the healthiest player base out of all continents, if I'm correct. Which makes it even more terrifying if you think about what's going over in Asia or Africa when it comes to Battlefield 1's player base. Whoa. So let's get to it. At Dead Game Mode number 1. Supply Drop. It was first introduced to us with the In the Name of the Tsar DLC back in September of 2017 and, well, it didn't last long. I'm not gonna lie, no one was playing it even when it came out. And it's actually quite funny because I remember there was some playtest where YouTubers were invited to DICE to play the new maps from In the Name of the Tsar, and everything was so exciting. Every YouTuber was hyping it up so much. There is new game mode called Supply Drop, there will be something exciting happening, it's gonna be amazing, and, well, the game mode itself isn't bad. I'm not gonna say it is, because I really enjoy playing it, it's just the fact that no one else does. Which is a shame, but I totally understand it. It is limited to In the Name of the Tsar maps. Then again, if you want to play In the Name of the Tsar maps, you have to pay for premium or buy the single DLC, which again, it is locked by paywall, limiting the amount of players, and realistically, it's not that fun, at least not as much fun as Operations. Why would you play something that barely anyone wants to play instead of playing something that's populated and more fun? I'd also like to point out that while DICE decided to remove elite classes from both Domination and Team Deathmatch because they believed they are too overpowered for such small game modes, and yet they didn't do anything about those in Supply Drop, which is also a 24-player game mode which is small. Looks like even DICE forgot this game mode exists. At Dead Game Mode number 2. That would be War Pigeons. A great game mode where you have to pick the pigeon, write the message, and then release the pigeon to fly with the message for some magic team that doesn't really exist to airstrike the enemies. In theory, the idea is great. The only problem I personally had with the game mode was the fact that you actually could shoot the pigeon down after you released it. Which resulted in games going on forever, because even if you managed to capture the pigeon, hold it for long enough to write the message and then release it, enemies just waited and shot the sky to basically spray down the pigeon. That wasn't really fun. And this game mode was available on all vanilla maps and also was implemented to DLC maps. And moving on to a Dead Game Mode number 3, that would be Rush, which was one of the most popular game modes in the previous game, that being Battlefield 4. Remember guys, Hardline didn't happen. There isn't really much to say here. The game mode was pretty much killed off by DICE because they've made a decision to limit it to only 24 players, which, well, for Battlefield 1, where we get open maps with a lot of space, is kind of depressing. While limited to 24, those maps could easily hold 48 players on Rush. Easily. The thing that surprises me the most about the whole situation, however, is the fact that DICE didn't do anything about it, even though they had tons of players asking them to increase the amount of players in the game mode right after the game came out. I don't think it's really that hard to increase the amount of players that can be put in one server, like, it's not some high-level engineering. We already have servers with different amounts of players. Why not increase it? Why let it die? At Dead Game Mode number 4, Domination. Guys, to be totally honest with you, I've never really understood the point of having both Team Deathmatch and Domination in Battlefield. Because players who decide to play Domination, at least here on PC, don't give a crap about flags. They treat the game mode as a Team Deathmatch and they only go for the kills. There is no thinking about taking certain objectives or controlling them, or not even mentioning defending flags, like, who would defend flags in Battlefield? It's only about attacking flags, right? I totally get the fact that DICE is trying to provide game mode variety to the players, but ultimately those two game modes pretty much totally overlap and players don't really want to play Domination, as you see. They don't. And Dead Game Mode number 5, the Air Assault, introduced to us with the Apocalypse DLC. I always hate those moments when I want to say I was right, because then, when I say this, people will point out in the comments that I'm cocky, I'm arrogant, and it might be true, but I was right, guys. I've made this video a couple of months ago and I've clearly said no one will be playing the game mode after a week since it was released. And now I'm sitting here wondering, where are all of you guys who were smashing dislike button or writing comments insulting me saying that I have no idea about planes in Battlefield, I have no idea about dogfight and that tons of players want this game mode, it will not die? Yeah, tell me about it. It's been dead for like a month or two at this point and Apocalypse DLC wasn't released that long ago. I'm really not trying to discredit anyone by saying this, but I've got a pretty big backlash for posting this video and for stating my opinion in it. Which, as it came out a couple of months later, I was actually right with. In all seriousness, guys, believe it or not, I really do enjoy playing those game modes. I mean, I did enjoy playing them. I also enjoy making fun of the fact that Battlefield 1 is dying so fast, especially considering that I decided to build my YouTube channel around the game, which is practically going to the cemetery at this point. But then again, what else can I do besides sitting in the corner and crying that my views aren't that high anymore? The only thing I can do at this point is to laugh about it and stay positive until the next game comes out. As always, guys, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield. Hopefully, not a dead one.